last time they played, which was a North Carolina big win.
Cole Anthony a miss. They played February 29th in the Carrier Dome, 92-79. A Carolina win, one of their best shooting nights of the season. Elijah Hughes trying to prove
what you said, Sean. Look, Sidibe had a great game against North Carolina, but you're going to have to duplicate it. You're going to have to get Brooks off the glass. You don't have to get the rebound. You just got to make sure Brooks doesn't get it.
Ooh, they foul another three-point shooter in 6 tries in their win over the Hokies to advance to day 2. They had to play yesterday, did the Tar Heels, as one of the bottom 4 seeds. Syracuse had yesterday off. Hughes. So around the offensive glass, he got a hand on it but couldn't get it. Robinson's pass anticipated by Hughes, who charges at the bucket, and it's a goaltending threat we saw last night when he made 5 out of 6 against the Hokies, and now he's on the bench less than 4 minutes in. Hughes, step back 3, might be trying a little too hard to prove that point.
Didn't need to do.
Hughes, a good crowd. It's not a capacity crowd, but given everything that's going on, certainly an excellent crowd here tonight. Gerard, freshman out of Glens Falls, New York, leading scorer in the history of New York State. Here's another 3. Garrison Brooks, Syracuse fans wanted to travel. That shot way off by Justin Pierce, who's come off the bench. Grad transfer from William and Mary. Hughes, guarded by Playtech. Hughes the fade away, and the rebound by Cole Ixon. Keeling catch and shoot, way off. Carolina fans thought Keeling was hit on the release. Hughes 1-1 on Playtech. Goes by him, but Baycott came to help in the floater percent over the last 10 games. So it's still 19-10. We've been stuck here for a while. Howard Washington is in the game, junior guard, honored before the game with the Bob Bradley Award for courage. Anthony stripped Hughes, but Hughes dove on the floor, but he was out. Entire year, he would have been an important front court player. Anthony missed 11 games. They went 4-7 without him. In all, now 102 missed games. But Anthony back, Robinson back, and they have enough to beat anybody. Hughes, a long 3 for Elijah Hughes for the Orange, under 8 minutes to go. Howard Washington honored with the Bob Bradley Award, named for the longtime sports information director at Clemson, battles cancer. It's for courage and perseverance. Washington has come back from a stroke a couple of seasons ago to play.
Going to hit each other. It's just going to happen.
Well, it's a big call. As mentioned, they already struggle inside. And Dolajai and Sidibe, key players inside. Hughes, air ball from the partisan Carolina crowd here in Greensboro.
This is a meltdown. This is a North Carolina meltdown here late in the half, started by Cole Anthony and his decision making.
Hughes went to work on Playtech.
One four low, let him go.
Again, Hughes on Playtech. The fadeaway in the final second. Brooks missed from in close. Elijah Hughes. The pull-up. Boy, is that impressive.
You know, Kobe Bryant's to make, and Anthony's going to have to make 3s.
He was 0 for 4 prior to that. From the floor. The Black, who's 6'8", had to play point guard earlier this year due to injuries. They've had 4 different players start at point guard this season. Now they have Anthony back to cement that position. Dolajai, I'm not sure Sidibe thought that was coming to him. Shot clock is at 3. Hughes, long, and Anthony the rebound.
Backwards and got out of the way, really. Scoring much easier right now for North Carolina. But you got to guard somebody.
Hughes fouled. Black and Anthony
drilled a 3.
25 for Cornell against Syracuse at the beginning of the year. Anthony's 3 misses. Dolajai, good rebound in traffic.
Oh, man. Sidibe beat everybody down.
Yeah,
Syracuse beat everybody down.
Hughes, not a bad option from the corner. Robinson, couldn't make anything in the first half.
Well, Jim Boeheim says he's most proud of Buddy for the way he's evolved his game. He was known as a catch-and-shoot guy, someone not capable of getting in the lane or creating for others. Well, over the summer, he and Jerry McNamara worked out every single day, building his strength and focusing on his ball handling.
Was going to. Robinson anticipated by Hughes. And all the way to the bucket, it spins off Pierce, the rebound. Patrick Williams, the terrific freshman. The sixth man of the year at Florida State. And Leonard Hamilton leading Florida State to its first regular season ACC title. The coach of the year, deservedly so. Buddy Boeheim for three. Just when
we're going to be what we are, but defensively, if we're elite, we'll win a lot of close games, and they have.
Gerard. Wow, Brooks tipped it, and it wound up with Hughes, who
got 5 top 100 kids coming in. I was talking to Paul Biancardi today, 4 McDonald's All-American. You know, Cale Love, a point guard that, quite frankly, they got to have. They got to have a point guard. Roy Williams needs a point guard that will just push it and fly and get it down the court.
The expectation is Cole Anthony is not going to come back.
I would think.
Syracuse looks like it's content now to milk the clock. Jim Boeheim throughout his career has done that with the lead. Well, 8.5's a lot of time left to pull the shoot completely, it would seem. Sidibe ran it down. And Baycott scores. By the way, Sidibe with the 4 fouls now has 131. The record for personal fouls in a season at Syracuse is 134. So if they lost tonight, he wouldn't have had a chance to break it. But now, if it stays like this, he'll have a chance to break it. It was Otis Hill, 134 fouls in 95-96.
I remember Otis Hill, big, strong kid out of New York.
And the record for disqualifications, foul-outs in a season is 12 at Syracuse by Raphael Addison. You remember him? Terrific
absolutely.
Player in the early 80s, still number 10 in scoring at Syracuse. Hughes, an air ball and a shot clock violation. They lost to North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. So if this goes into the win column, as it certainly seems it will now, that'll be 7-0 in the second game of the season against an opponent this year.
You know, I did the Virginia game at Virginia. Sean, it was one of the oddest games. 18 points they scored in the second half. 20 points they scored in the overtime.
Jim Boeheim said that's something that will never happen again against Virginia. I mean, it's hard to score 20 points and a half against Virginia. Buddy Boeheim was a big annual event. Joey Brackets find a way to them on the bubble. What about NC State? They beat Pitt today. If they beat Duke tomorrow, I mean, ball game over, they're in.
You got to think they are.
If they don't, then he has them in right now, Joey Brackets, as an 11 seed.
You know, Stanford was losing. They're a bubble team. Indiana was a bubble team. They beat a very bad Nebraska team.
So without Chris Likes, their leading scorer, you're going to see a lot of DJ Vucelovic. That one was off the mark from 3. Who else do you expect to step up with Likes out of the line?
Right there, to me, Keystone. Getting the ball into the sweet spot to a guy who can make a play with size.
Here's Elijah Hughes, likely first-team All-ACC player, in contention for ACC Player of the Year. Leads the conference in scoring with 19 points a game. That time off the mark from 3. Averaging 16 points a game in losses, half that 8. He seems to be the X factor in Hurricane wins.
There's the versatility of Keith Stone. He guarded their point guard. Now he switches out to Hughes.
Hughes got a step on him. Couldn't finish it, though. Sidibe had it for his...
The passing lane to Miller. He's the perfect guy, Keith Stone, to have in the middle of that zone offense.
Hughes. Money. Off the mark. Yeah, Keith Stone spent most of his career upstate in Gainesville in Florida. Came back from an ACL injury, missed all of November. Jim Larinaga said his fitness and conditioning really never came back. But Syracuse there, the matchup. Wardenberg finally got his shot free, but it was too late.
Well, Sidibe played really good defense, and he's such a critical part of the zone.
Elijah Hughes.
When he was coming out of Louisville, we had breakfast, a lunch together, and the way he handled the conversation, his level of maturity was really impressive to me. Need playmakers there too who can make quick decisions and pass the ball. But you should know one thing against Syracuse's zone: when the ball goes to the short corner, it's going to get trapped.
Pull up pop from Hughes goes begging.
7 minutes. He's not in foul trouble. He is their point forward against this zone attack. He is the zone breaker, even if he doesn't score.
Off the head of Howard Washington. Syracuse just shows you they're not in that rhythm offensively. 5 on the timer. Hughes trying to bail the Orange out. This time can't connect on a 3. Dolajai takes it right into Stone. That time he left it short. Rips the ball away for a second chance opportunity, though. Here's Elijah Hughes going into traffic and draws the foul. Mello,
who I tried to recruit at North Carolina my first year when I got the job.
Why didn't you get him?
I don't know. Maybe.
On number 12, Duke. 8 p.m. Eastern time. They'll have highlights, analysis, complete breakdown of that game on all the games in the ACC. Nothing but net right here on the ACC network. Girard's been really quiet, only 2 points. Trying to unlock him here. Extra pass, wide open, Elijah Hughes, and he misses it. Buddy Boeheim.
1 assist away, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, which was a career high. And Stephon Mitchell, one of the better defenders in the
college to the NCAA tournament. He has injury issues tonight.
Boy, he does. Nico Popovich, as we see Elijah Hughes with a different level of energy than are the Orange. And right now, Jim Boeheim not happy about what he's seeing. Howard Washington at the table, who hasn't played in about the last 5 to 6 games. But right now, Jim Boeheim going to make a change in his lineup.
Misfired by Hughes, yeah. Before that possession, they had turned it over 3.
Syracuse starting point guard sitting beside Jim Boeheim, and that's not the place you want to see your starting point guard early in the game, but it has the fact to do with in Syracuse's last 6 possessions, they have 3 turnovers, so that's not what Jim Boeheim is happy about in this game.
And remember, he's a freshman. Syracuse, no scholarship seniors for the first time in over 20 years, so it's a very young team. Hughes getting into the paint, got the shot up there. That's a tough shot to defend. Stage in Jim's career, 962 victories, legendary coach at Syracuse. To be able to see 2 kids, but coach one of them. I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world to coach your own son, though.
It's not easy for him, and it's not easy for Buddy, because I can tell you right now, if you look at Buddy Boeheim and his numbers on this year, if he were not Jim Boeheim's son, they would be looked at in a greater light than they are right now. As you see Elijah Hughes continue absolutely perfect. Oh, he's got a beautiful jump shot. And he's one of those guys to where you almost are surprised every time you see him miss. And Buddy actually came back from a sprained ankle, missed the majority of the Pittsburgh game. He came back and scored 22 points against UNC on Saturday. 8, 9 teams on a consistent basis get in. Those are 10 extra bids when you think about the 2 conferences. Who's getting those bids?
The Big Ten's getting most of them, I know that.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
Hughes with a misfire there.
And that as well. We talked a lot to him earlier today, and he was talking about the narrative being.
Here's the swing for Williams, and he's too strong with a long one. Washington to push the tempo. Girard back in there. Taking over at the point. Hughes has it poked away. Rishwain got it.
Those guys have done tremendous jobs all season long, especially when you consider the way that their non-conference schedules went in November and December. You know, Tony Bennett
as a champion in the ACC. Thornton with a misfire there. Derek Thornton, who has been around, hasn't he? He's been a student at 3 of the top schools in the country: Duke, USC, and Boston College.
Well, he's well-traveled, got a lot of gear. No question about that.
He's got gear. Hughes from the corner and a sweet shot.
Foul and stole the show.
Rounded out by Heath.
Stephon Mitchell once again in the mix. Unable to come away with the second chance opportunity, but he makes a play on every basketball when it goes up, especially on his offensive board.
Hughes working on Heath. That's not a bad matchup at all. Fires that one up. A lot of iron, but it drops in, you know.
And with 4 opportunities, the Eagles don't even get a shot off.
They had been playing very clean basketball. That was their first turnover in 8 minutes. A fall away. You can't stop that shot. The last couple of years.
52-9, guys. Pretty incredible, but they lost a bad one at Miami on the road last night, 105-89. Second night of a back-to-back. And also in Miami, Corey, you know about that city.
Yeah, that South Beach flu has been running around for years, having to go there after getting just a little bit steamy in the last time out.
Hughes can't hit that one. And a foul, 15. Picking up number 3.
And that's a tough decision by Jim Christian to take Thornton out after knocking down 3 threes and having the hot hand. With a graduate student guard, I may have to let him play.
Time.
It is a lot of time, but the way he's shooting the basketball, I can tell you right now, there would have been much more of an argument from me coming off the bench.
It would have gotten serious. Hughes with a little step back. Oh, got that one. That's a two-pointer.
Mike is a freshman in the ACC. Sometimes it's going your way, other times it's not, but I love the fact that he stayed with it. And right now, Hughes, that's the second time he's
right in this city. 10 minutes to go. Hughes way downtown, and it goes from 3. What do you call it?
We call that logo range.
Logo range.
Yes, logo range.
He certainly does. And they have their largest lead in the ball game.
Uh-oh, step back. That's a heat check right there for Elijah Hughes. And you're down 18 and you make a 3 that makes it 15, it happens to go off glass, so be it. You take it. If it's a pickup game, I want it back.
Over the top for Hughes and a foul. Gerard and Hughes, electricity he plays with, I don't think you can deny that.
And if he were eligible, he would actually be the leading scorer in the ACC right now. And so when you think about that, and again, North Carolina's record hasn't been great. The record hasn't been great with. Got one issue, though. Need for Jim Boeheim to put Barama Sidibe back in the game, need him to get one more point, so he has 3 straight double-doubles. 9 points and 12 rebounds. Can't take him out with that.
Good eye. Dolajai with 5 to get off a shot. Kicks it back out for Hughes. Short, tipped out. Loose ball, good effort by Dolajai, but it comes free again into the backcourt and scooped up by Watt, which being a Yankee fan means outside Fenway on Jersey Street or something. But no, you'll be fine. We'll get you in there.
Will I get to sit on top of the Green Monster?
Well, those are great seats, by the way.
No, they are. They are.
But not tonight. And what will be a losing cause here. Nonetheless, taken away by the Orange. Hughes to Edwards in the lane. Lays it up. He made the shot. And he'll head to the line as well.
And Joe Girard III will have the basketball first. This is Elijah Hughes, who leads the ACC in scoring per game. All right, Dolajai gets it to Buddy Boeheim. We're going to keep an eye on Boeheim's foot has just come out of his shoe.
And that is the ankle that he did.
Figure out that zone, which is always a challenge.
Well, a nice play there by Cole Anthony getting inside the zone, but Garrison Brooks unable to finish on the lob. But that's one of the things we talked to Coach Williams about. He will rotate.
We didn't even mention Marty Burns, who was a great player in basketball here in the 70s, went on to have a nice NBA career with the Indiana Pacers. So it's so big on this campus, the number 44, that years ago, Corey, they changed. Back at the Carrier Dome, North Carolina. It was feeling kind of Canadian up here today. It is a bit chilly here in central New York today, 27 degrees right now. And that'll describe.
Trying to find a way to win games as they near the end of their season. And they know that the light is getting dimmer at the end of the tunnel.
Another Syracuse turn.
Wants for Sidibe to get into foul trouble because they know he's being aggressive. Speaking of aggressive.
Brooks draws a crowd, finds Pierce, but it's taken away. Elijah Hughes. Hughes off the hesitation. Tough shot.
And he's shooting the basketball extremely well now. 11 points for Anthony here, who's been very good. Had to sit the into that first half with the second foul. He's had a strong performance here in the Dome.
Hughes blocked by Black, out of bounds. Syracuse game of the year, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been dinged up at times throughout.
He's been dinged up a number of times this year. He's had a concussion and a severely sprained ankle that he actually was able to play through. But North Carolina now going small.
And there the Tar Heels crashing that offensive glass. Sidibe comes away with it. Here comes Hughes. Fancy shot. Plus 3 for the Tar Heels here in the second half. When we're talking Elijah Hughes on the nice back cut. The long rebound. Here come the Tar Heels. Keeling. No. And it's Boeheim who has it.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that will be the most difficult voting.
Right. So Vernon Carey's going to be the freshman of the year.
Oh, I can give you 4 definites. I can give you the whole 5.
He's going to be the freshman of the year.
Oh, I can give you 4 definites. I can give you the whole 5. Got to be going to Buffalo. We don't want any of that happening right now. He's trying to stay neutral.
Midway through the second half, Elijah Hughes, who has had a quiet game scoring the basketball.
Games ago because he has continued to shoot a hot basketball. He has tripled his production over the last 7 games in comparison to what he did for the first 21 games of this season.
Gary lays it in.
Does the thoughts of the past games creep into your mind, or have they learned enough to be able to finish it out?
Sidibe.
In consideration, that's not something that creeps into the mind of these players on the floor as it moves forward.
It's a 14-point game with 2.5 minutes to go. Those were all much tighter at this point.
Now with Garrison Brooks at the free throw line, I'm sure he has to have Justin on the brain.
2 minutes to go. Hughes on the switch. Drives on Brooks. One and done for Syracuse. Sound system will change. The lighting will change. But by and large, he feels like, other than the roof, it's going to feel like the same place.
Well, it's going to be interesting, of course, coming in here, because one of the things you see is opposing teams come in, and one of the first things for freshmen is they look around.
Champagny with his first touch, an air ball. Both of these teams struggling to start this game. All the way ahead. Sidibe tracks it down and puts it up.
Last 5 games, he has been playing well for Pitt, and in particular the last 3, averaging 10, 8, and shooting over 56% from the floor.
Rolls around. That's a deep 3 from Elijah Hughes, but he can.
That play right there, coast to coast, take the hit, and then finish.
Sidibe's been active tonight. That time comes up with a block. Gerard with a mismatch. Blows right by Brown. Kick out. Hughes, deep 3. No good.
Tonight he's up against the leading scorer.
They floated into Hughes, turns around and knocks it down. And the Oakland Zoo ready to get loud, especially at this rivalry. The 118th meeting with the Oranges dominated it historically and of late. Great atmosphere here at the Pete, but they haven't really given them much to shout about. Both teams have been slow to get started.
In particular from beyond the arc, neither team has hit a 3 yet in this game.
0 for 7 combined from deep. Elijah Hughes trying to change that, and he does.
He heard us talking. McGowan's and Xavier Johnson are 2 of the best. When they get downhill, they are so difficult to keep out of the paint. That time.
Kick to the corner. Champagny left it short, and Hughes pulls down the rebound. Elijah Hughes has 9. Barama Sidibe has 6 for the Orange. Left wide open. He usually makes you pay. That time he doesn't, but the follow finish.
Against the Syracuse zone. That time Xavier Johnson, dribble drive, gets to the paint. Nice little dish-off pass to Champagny.
Elijah Hughes trying to pick out Sidibe. He lost the handle. Tipped around, and it goes to Joseph Gerard. Elijah Hughes skying and scoring.
I think the other number, points off the turnovers. Right now, Syracuse has 8 points off the turnovers. They're doing a nice job getting some offense with their defense.
Limp out of the game. Getting attended to his ankle there, so it's Bryson Goodine at the top of that 2-3 zone. Hughes, transition three, rattles in and out. It was halfway down for Elijah Hughes. And again, the most important statistic, only one foul. Doing it on the defensive side as well. Picked that one right out of the air. Hughes, hand in his face. And a hand that fouled him. Thought they would from that position. We're playing very well tonight.
Pitt, I like this changeup by Jeff Capel going to some three-quarter court pressure, and then now they drop back into looks like a 3-2 matchup zone.
Dolezaj decides to take it and make it. Off with an apparent ankle injury. Final 50 seconds of this first half. The Orange up 14. Elijah Hughes. And a foul call. McGowan's a deep three and it falls finally. His first triple of the night. Pitch is shooting 3 of 11 from deep, even with that make. Elijah Hughes. Oh my, an immediate answer.
Syracuse extends their lead.
You've said it all night, Huck. You think Hughes is a pro prospect, and if you've watched this game, it's hard to disagree. He's been terrific tonight.
I called it at the top. He's a guy that will be playing for a paycheck when he leaves Syracuse. Very few holes in his coming up anytime soon.
Tapped around, foot falls out to Goodine. Here's Elijah Hughes on the run and lays it in. Elijah Hughes. And Champagny has battled tonight. 13 points, 12 rebounds, his 6th double-double. Rooted by Jamie Dixon, didn't get to play for him, played under Kevin Stallings, and now Jeff Capel getting his night on senior night, and he drills a 3.
Well, they're still trying to hang around in this game. Let's see if Syracuse has the answer.
Zinski put it up again, hit the offensive rebound, kick out Johnson. That's off the mark. And it's Elijah Hughes' night. As it stands right now, Joe Lenardi, bracketologist, has 5 ACC teams in. He's got NC State, the final team in the field. One of the rare misses tonight from Elijah Hughes.
Again, has some talent. I think the consistency, in particular that right there up from beyond the arc, is going to be the key for them. Can they be more consistent from beyond the arc?
McGowan's the 3 there. Champagny, he's had a quiet 13 points and 15 rebounds. You look at the stat sheet as he grabs. It's Sidibe with that rebound, a double-double, only the 5th of his career. But it is certainly, you know what, we gave player of the game to Elijah Hughes, but you could have made a case for Sidibe. Just you come in with this game, a lot of criticism swirling around the junior, and to put together a double-double on the road, an impressive performance.
It really was. He set the tone on the start.
And Sidibe came away with the board up to Gerard.
Well, Gerard's coming out party. We did it. It was against Colgate early in the year, and he has been in the starting lineup ever since. Great matchup at the point.
He's close to 18 points per game over his last 5. So Wright gets the Jackets on the board. Again, he's averaging about 13 points per game. Very lightly recruited out of high school. In fact, Georgia Tech is only Division I offer. That has certainly paid off for Josh Pastner.
Well, the Pastner feels like nobody's coming.
Christ the King High School out of Brooklyn, New York. Just made his 33 three-pointer of the season. 33rd 3 of the season for Alvarado. They're going back door. Hughes couldn't get it up on the line. So 4 points for Wright, a 7-4 lead. Early minutes of this first half, the Orange and the Yellow Jackets. Syracuse 7 and 8 in conference play. Hughes on the drive. Off the back iron, out of bounds, and it will...
With a 1-on-2 break, but Wright just fouled right behind the play.
A couple of thunderous dunks in the first half from Moses Wright. Hughes stepping back and knocking it down for three.
You put it on the deck, and you're going to get the ball stolen by the guards.
Big block carry against Banks. Orange 10 and 6 at home this season. That is Hughes. Sidibe against Moses Wright to the bench. The most prolific scorer so far in our game this afternoon. Wright with 8 points, and as Mike mentioned, hasn't missed a shot, although he's jammed a couple of them. This is Hughes from straight away. Evan Cole up to the board for 19% shooting for Syracuse in the first half so far. Hughes, a little bit of daylight. Off the mark, chased down by Dolezaj. Determined to get right back to that rim. And he created contact at a...
He's supposed to collapse in on that, but he is finding little seams to get up to the rim.
Closing in on the 9-minute threshold of the first half, so glad that you're with us. As Hughes loses it on. 18.5 points per game for Hughes. That's from inside the line by Usher. Hughes nabs it for Syracuse. Gerard steps into a 3-ball, and it's on. The game for Georgia Tech. Tomorrow we get going with some women's action at noon. North Carolina at Wake Forest. You check your local listings for the games and time in your area. From Michael DeVoe.
You talk about struggling that first game in the loss. 5 points, 5 turnovers.
That was a win for the Orange in early December, 97-63. The most points they have scored this season in a game. Can Hughes get rolling? Puts a little...
Great start in doing that. A deep three. And a 5-0 start for the Orange, who have lost 9 in a row to North Carolina, including that loss in Syracuse on the last day of February. North Carolina is the only program that has ever won 9 straight games against Syracuse. Nobody else has done that. Offensive foul.
And stepped back and knocked it in.
And another tight whistle.
Players from that. I could see Gerard. He looks pretty comfortable in this game. It's a good move by Boeheim, taking him out.
Oh, Anthony, he doesn't look.
I thought one of the cool things a few years ago in the Dome, like first game of the year as a freshman, Jimmy Boeheim lifted up right in front of his dad's bench and drilled a 3.
He had 25 for Cornell against Syracuse at the beginning of the year. Anthony's 3 misses. Dolezaj, good read.
Who is the zone buster on this Hurricanes team?
It's Keith Stone, as crazy as that sounds, because the ball gets to him and Miami will get good shots. He's the zone buster. He may not score a point, but he gets the ball, good things happen. What else? You can play great defense, but if you don't secure the rebound, it's a frustrating possession. You got to finish off a defensive possession with a box out and a rebound.
Miami has taken 8 threes against this 2-3 zone. They've only made 1 of them, and yet only down by 1.
When the ball goes to the foul line, the big man has to turn and attack.
Stone drew the contact, heading. Beverly exploding down the lane, way out of control though. Miami corrals the offensive rebound, did not hit. So 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
Beverly ought to be looking to the bench because if I'm the coach, he's going to get subbed out.
Another bad shot there. Wardenberg puts it up and in.
Returning to the NCAA tournament, then just as suddenly they drop 5 of their next 6.
And that's really what has taken them out of NCAA contention. And had a number of opportunities against big teams, and now the
officials tonight here in Boston. Where, by the way, it almost got to 60 degrees today.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm up here with my winter coat, got my wool blazer on, ready for Boston, and it turned out to be like Atlanta in here today.
They looked at you and say, you don't need to be wearing a parka here. Williams way short.
I need to be
outstanding.
It really is, and getting the basketball right on the front of the rim, but the soft touch that allows it to be able to hit the rim and still go in. And Elijah Hughes right now is scoring at every level. We've seen him do it in so many different ways early in this game.
Dort glances away. They'll get a second chance. Yeah, it's a very tough call. Boy, that difference between 2 and 3 is gigantic. We are into the second half. Number 3 with about 15 minutes to go. A lot of time.
It is a lot of time, but the way he's shooting the basketball, I can tell you right now, there would have been much more of the noise here after the finish by Sidibe that not only brings a lot of this crowd to his feet, but also a smile to the faces of his Orange teammates.
And now Syracuse has opened up a 60-42 lead. Under 9 to go. Williams trying to bring him back, and he rattles that one in off the window. Somehow,
at least I would say have to be at least 10 games where he's on wire to wire 40 minutes for the Orange this year. And right now, where we saw Boston College,
Fenway Park in the summertime, and the tradition and the roots run so deep here all through New England. Baseball season right around the corner. Jumper, another three-pointer, and tonight
this one is gone. Buddy Boeheim having a similar performance as Hughes had against Florida State, getting off to a great start here in the first half.
Boeheim's got 13 points to lead all scorers. Offensive foul. The ball, so no double dribble, no travel.
And Sidibe really starting to become a factor off that screen and roll where teams are going to blitz the guards and try to take them out of it. As Cole Anthony now shooting the basket.
Deep three from McGowan's way off the mark.
Memories like that throughout the course of history when these two teams match up.
The 118th meeting between these two teams, and right now one that Pitt fans would like to forget. 15 turnovers, only shooting 30% from the floor. Starzinski, the senior. That's the loudest you'll hear the beat.
Champagne coming up to try to set a ball screen, see if they can get some dribble penetration that way with Johnson. They've been unable, though, consistently to get the ball into the paint against this zone tonight.
Why is that?
Well, Syracuse, credit them, they do a great job getting, it looks like 4 guys out there just when you think you have an opening, they're right there.
Starzinski put it up again.
To the ACC tournament.
So you don't think, you're not convinced that this is just a 3-horse race at the top?
Absolutely not. Obviously, look at what happened the other night, albeit on the road, Duke losing to Wake Forest. But, again, we've seen time and time again in the ACC, but in college basketball that obviously anything can happen. And certainly that's no different in the ACC.
For your first possession coming out the way you've been playing offensively, but nobody had a hand up, and he had a great look at the basket.
2 for 3 on three-pointers for Girard. See if the Orange can contain Wright in the second half. For 3 seconds,
so he can be a little bit more aggressive, but a great run up the floor.
3-point lead for the Orange. Banks with the ball fake.
And shooter, I think you got to take a foul in that situation and get him to the line instead of giving him a layup.
Parham one dribble in the jumper. Rattles out to right offensive glass. Goes up strong.
Team. If Jim Boeheim goes deeper than 6, it's because somebody's in foul trouble or something's not going well.
You know, Guerrier's really important that he comes off the bench. He gets that splash shirt.
McMahon again.
think he feels pretty good that he's back. Gerard's last 2 games, 30 and 25. He's got an incredible future. The one thing about him, he's a 4-year player. Oh, push off.
Call for the push.
Very dumb in his career. He and Boeheim together, are you kidding me? Because he's a South, he's a freshman. You're going to be there to 4-year players?
Enoch out to Sutton. Good recovery by the Orange. And they close out on McMahon in a hurry, but Louisville moving the ball well. Sidibe down with a 2-handed rebound in the Orange.
That was an example of Buddy showing he can put the ball to the deck, though, getting into the mid-range area.
Syracuse is always in the 2-3 zone.
You know they're going to find McMahon everywhere he is.
Wara, mid-range jumper, too strong. Weak side rebound, Williams. Wara.
McMahon everywhere he is.
Wara, mid-range jumper, too strong. Weak side rebound, Williams. Wara for 3. Williams with a tip in.
Williams
most likely a first-team All-ACC candidate. Not getting the start today. Nothing disciplinary, and he will play.
Raekwon Gray with the rebound. The miss by M.J. Tucker. Multiple opportunities in the lane for the Seminoles. And Buddy Boeheim with
does. One thing about Elijah Hughes, he'll be able to shoot the basketball whether he's got his full explosiveness or not. But a great start for him getting off and knocking down a bucket early.
Trent Forrest coming off a tremendous game in the loss Monday at Duke. Clean look Gray. Well short. Hughes with a rebound.
You know, watch back as rookies for one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah, there are a lot of NBA Seminoles in the building because of the NBA All-Star break. Isaac, Singleton, Bacon, Mann, Kevin Gailey, Kofor, and Kumaji.
I mentioned in the first half when Terrence Mann went through this, he did play in the second half of that game. And so I'm not sure if it's the same incident, whatever it may be. But one of the things about Leonard Hamilton, and I've known Coach Ham a long time, he recruited me when I was coming out of high school. He went with scouting, because I can tell you right now, I didn't always know what someone's best move was, especially if I hadn't played against him at that point. And this, of course, Joe Girard's first game versus Syracuse.
So was that your excuse when you got beaten off the bounce?
No. My excuse was I had to conserve my energy for offense.
Forrest.
The recruiting ties back home.
Elijah Hughes had a chance to tie the ball game, but he missed the front end. Here's Williams. Draws immediately. 2 defenders coming at him. Back around the other side to Polite. Dolezaj cuts him off. 10 to shoot. Walker. Drive and kick. Williams. Too strong. Polite rips away the rebound. It goes out of bounds. And in this building. Williams. Denied. Guerrier with the block shot. And the shot clock continues to wind down at 12. Forrest. Extra pass. Open man Walker. It's good!
State. And Florida State hasn't been able to get easy baskets in this game. Syracuse has made them work on the offensive end of the floor. For the most part, every possession, only 6 fast break points for the Noles, and all of those were in the first half.
Blocking foul to 3. Different Seminoles have scored. Walker, tough shot, and he'll have it.
Who's in the middle? Who's at that ACC logo? And it looks like at the beginning of the game, it'll be a big guy in DJ Thunderbolt.
Oh, we'll see what happens when Johnson comes into the game.
But with the 2 fouls, 11 minutes in.
Well, you got to look, I think, to Brandon Childress and Shondi Brown to find some offense here.
Syracuse trying to get the ball.
Syracuse just pushing out.
Already halfway through the shot clock. Torrey Johnson, 6th-year senior from Chicago on the drive. Back out for Neath. Yes!
He's got 7 rebounds as well. 3 assists and a block shot.
And so he had that 10-minute drought to close out the first half. And what do you know? He goes right into attack mode and gets 2 at the line.
Syracuse has to get offense from Hughes and Boeheim.
Andrian White had it blocked by Hughes.
The scoreboard issue. They were trying to make sure that the home team book and the visiting team book agreed.
Important to figure that out when you change ends.
Well, you know, since the score is maybe the most important thing out there, be good to have it right.
There's a chance at a
continue to battle back.
What do we say at the top? Danny Manning's team, they've played in a lot of close games this year, though the record doesn't reflect it. Hughes recovered, kicked. Shot clock winding down. Brown misses. Musius the offensive rebound. Sarr goes up and drops it in for a Wake Forest. I went out with his fifth on a technical. Childress trying to draw the foul, and instead
about Kobe and his grandkids. The last time I talked to Kobe was in the spring of 2005, and I was playing with the Charlotte Bobcats. And I walk out on the court, and I've been out of the NBA pretty much for the previous 3 years. And from the other end of the floor, Kobe says, "CA, where the hell you been?" A tremendous job this year of being a post player. When he was in high school, Doug, he floated on the perimeter a lot, and he's a young man that can shoot the ball very well, can put it on the floor well, and make plays. And speaking of that, you didn't even notice the fact that Cassius Stanley picked up 2 fouls in the first half.
And the one potential storyline that's bubbling under the surface that you just alluded to is that Duke potentially has difficulties with its promise. Sidibe has too, and that's it.
And Dolezaj now with 12 points has been great on the interior in this game and with his passing as Cassius Stanley steps up and announces his return. Position where he can't get a foul, pretty much gets out of the way. He's more valuable to this team on the offensive end of the floor than he is picking up that fourth and having to go to the bench.
Hurt in trouble, able to get it back out to Jones with 15 on the shot clock. Cassius Stanley traveled.
A little loose change. And he's shooting 67%. They're getting a little bit more offense out of him inside, and that's where he's going to score. Offensive rebounding and off the drive.
Mack, too strong off the heel. Good tap out by... He's 34% from three. He's blocked. That was a beautiful block by Trapp. Using his length as a difference maker. And yet another turnover committed by the Hughes. You see Sims try to get that pick against Boeheim. Now he gets it right in the middle. A ball fake by Newman, and the soft, crafty
Point play. That was a tough shot to knock down.
I think Dad is going to let Paul Sells know about it right now on the baseline. He is. And a quick answer from... I go back to home in Syracuse. There's a smiling Julie Boeheim watching her son, Buddy, light it up on the road for the Orange yet again.
2.5 seconds between shot and game clock.
Guerrier, the rebound still slip away.
It'll be your third home loss, and you're 2 games under 500.
And how about Syracuse? Should they win, it's 5 in a row on the road. At the buzzer on the clock, it goes off of the heel for Newman, and it's run down.
For, in my opinion, one of the best players in the country, Elijah Hughes. That's a beautiful dribble drive and kick out to Boeheim, who has been shooting well from beyond the arc for Syracuse.
He's averaging 4 assists a game. He's in the top 10 of the ACC, as we noted at the beginning of the broadcast. And he has helped his team to a 7-point lead. Buddy Boeheim, by the way, has outscored Pittsburgh.
And he is not looking to pass first. He's trying to get to the basket and use his length advantage to score against Pitt.
Tell you what, he's only 44% from the floor in conference play, but you throw in the last couple of ball games into the day's early action, he's 10 of his last 16, 10 of his last 18 from the floor. That's pretty good. Shot missed by the Panthers.
Guerrier from the baseline, rejected by Durham. Boy, he has been a force inside already.
Second leading shot blocker on average, about 2.5 a game, only behind one of his assistant coaches, Ryan Humphrey. And Durham goes back to it and gets fouled by Hughes.
Not gotten good looks. They just haven't gotten them to fall. And the problem is those misses have led to some transition opportunities where the defense hasn't been able to stop the basketball.
And there have been plenty of good looks from three.
Reference.
Off the inbounds. Three clips the rim for Hub. It's at Mike Cousins. I was just beating you to the punch there.
I don't know if we have a big contingent of Colgate fans.
I'd prefer not to receive electronic vitriol from Hamilton, but sometimes it happens. Three-point looks have not been there for Notre Dame. Guerrier came out of nowhere to turn that away. Goodwin with a fake, lets it fly, short rim.
Tied for 5th. Washington.
And that's a shot that if you're Virginia Tech, you want Washington to shoot. You want to get the ball out of Hughes' hands, make sure you stay at home on Buddy Boeheim.
Long two for Cone. Another one and done as Virginia Tech, they've won 3 games in a row. Good vibes started flowing with that win over Syracuse on the road. Most recently a win over Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. No look pass Radford. Back out to Nutley. Corner 3. Up and down.
Hey, again, you know about the three-point shooting from Buddy Boeheim, but I've been more impressed with his ability to put the ball on the floor and be able to hit that mid-range jumper.
Virginia Tech has committed 6 team fouls. That means that the next time they foul, it'll be bonus free throws for Syracuse. Hokies down 6.
Traditionally, Virginia Tech has struggled when they don't have Landers Nolly on the floor. Again, still thinking
the inbound. Virginia Tech has a timeout remaining. Nolly, a deep 3, well off the mark. Loose, picked up by...
And Naismith published the rules, but in the original rules, you weren't allowed to dribble.
Yeah. Just carried the ball. Passed it. And just worked it around.
And there were no free throws. Oh my.
Jerry is hit.
But he's a guy throughout his career when he's been healthy has shown the ability to catch the ball and make some moves on the interior.
Largest lead for Boston College, 22 points. Can't buy one. Leading 3-point. Just over 3 minutes deep, second half. Big lead for the Hughes.
And if Boston College was looking to get off to a real quick start in the second half, the Syracuse season, well, what they did early in the season really counts strongly against them. And that's, I don't know if there's any way you fix that problem. His hair and hit
the kid. What the heck was his name?
Prentice Hub. Yeah. He was just on our airwaves.
Yeah, Hub taunted him. And Gerard showed exactly what he was all about, man. He went right at him, hit 5 straight points.
If you missed it, Gerard was laying on the ground.
In the 60s?
I think you just nailed it, actually.
Did I?
And I hate to say that.
I'm not surprised.
All right. Joe Namath is the answer.
I was right on both.
No, you're exactly right.
I know.
Namath was a #1 pick, but
don't
not in the NFL.
People.
You can go ahead and add him. Actually.
I go to Buffalo draft. But he's a broad-shouldered guy that can do a number of things and plays with his head up. So now I can hear it.
Yeah, it's...
you know what kind of idiot Dockage is? He compared Huff to Anthony Davis.
Well, in certain ways.
Yeah, I mean, just... That was a great call by you. That was quick. Clark needs to get more to the side of Gerard so it's a smaller guy to contest, not Boeheim, and step in when he passes. He'll get a wide-open look.
Yeah, he's given the length a chance
to
defend him.
Right. He needs to get on this side of us.
Marcel. No.
He's 9 for a lifetime. Wait on Hughes. Hughes caught it, put it down, whipped Virginia.
Syracuse missed its last 5 field goals of the first half. Well, Diakite just traveled and got away with it. And a 3 for Keith. Boeheim.
You got to make that. You're feeling good offensively. You got to make that open shot on the road to get a win against these guys.
Statman wouldn't take the
He's
shot.
not even looking.
Clark's not going to pass him the ball again. Statman dropped the ball. Statman again. Kick out for Key. Past Hughes. No good.
Wow.
The story of Syracuse's recent days has been not being able to finish.
Right here, yeah, no question. Well, I'd get the ball right there to Key, yeah.
Well off for Statman, who's had a really rough game.
From coming off of a little handoff action and getting into the lane.
Some urgency here, Virginia. Diakite knocks it down. They call it
a little bit of space, just enough. You know, he came in with a heavy reputation. A lot of comparisons to Jerry McNamara, a legend here at Syracuse. I thought it was unfair when Gerard...
Again, being on the free throw line, no matter where you are in the free throw line, it's all about repetition. The lead. Beatty not a threat from three. A lead is, though, and as is Holly, or Nolly rather, but he has been cold. Nolly with the shot fake. The tour hits. That's a three. QB battle coming your way Monday night in New Orleans. Virginia Tech's in a battle right here, trying to figure out how to put some points on the board. Trailing by just 7, though, so still in the game, despite the offensive struggles of the team in general, and of Landers Nolly, their big star.
Yeah. Landers Nolly, he's got to score. I mean, that's a fact of the matter. He is their shot maker. He's along the baseline right now.
3 to shoot. Forced up by Wilkins, and they force us to get the bounce.
And Boeheim just did. To force the ball to go out of bounds is big in this zone, but you got to recover well to a guy in the corner and keep him in front of you.
That started with Mooney screening, by the way.
Yeah, the offensive side of it was great. Screening the zone was terrific.
Catch and shoot. Prentice sinks a 3.
Wow. It's 3 straight nothing possessions. Nothing in the middle, nothing anywhere.
By the way, I said 8 turnovers, 5 for Notre Dame, but still the empty ones have come at the wrong time. This one is not empty. Prentice.
Durham, one of the reasons they're plus 13 with him in the game.
Boeheim wanted the foul. It would have been Durham's 4th. Looked clean. Goes for 3.
Man, that's beautiful.
Gibbs staggers. Catch and shoot. Rainbow!
Right back at you.
Teams in America, the Orange sticking with their normal starting lineup. A little chancy there for Joe Girard. And a rare turnover. They coughed it up just 4 times in their last game.
Yeah, they usually take care of the ball. Kind of got sloppy there. Try to get a quick hitter to Marek Dolezaj. Didn't get it.
Kratholm will operate at the high post against the zone. Hammond contorts his body for an...
All the hard work and practice is paying off. Taking advantage of his opportunity.
Russell now 3 out of 4 from 3-point range on the season. Towns and Roberts work this 3-guard lineup.
Easy layup.
14 points for Elijah Hughes, who has hardly broken a sweat tonight. Both teams with conference play coming up next. Towns at the foul line. Sidibe headed for a stretches of free throw shooting the program's ever seen. Towns not afraid to take it in deep, but this time a rip away by Doley.
Really blessed and fortunate to be able to compete against him, the Hall of Fame coach. And for me, the Dome always has been a special place, one of my favorite venues to call games in, but as a player to play in, really it's a special place.
Garrett Sams.
Hughes, to see him have some confidence again, coming off a game versus Open, 20 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover. He's starting to shoot the ball much better from beyond the arc from Syracuse.
It's a 6-0 run for the Orange on consecutive threes. Looked like Hughes got a piece, and now Hendrickson to Aminu. Blocked against the glass by Sidibe. It comes to Escobar. Little strong. Aminu with another off. to 9. At this end, what does North Florida have to do to get Escobar back involved? He had 16 in the first half, Malcolm, still scoreless here in the second.
Well, Syracuse, credit them. They've extended up. I think, again, continue to do what you did in the first half, and that's that right there. Either use ball screens.
The fact that if they can take care of the basketball, they will find themselves in good shape here against a good team.
Even with the 7 turnovers, this Oakland team, they're a missed dunk and a missed layup away from being tied.
Tough recipe, especially when you're playing in the ACC to be successful. Buddy Boeheim off on the one there in the corner, but you know, it's also a way to be an equalizer. Syracuse does not have the athletes that it's used to having. It really doesn't have the skill players that they're used to having. So one of the ways it's attack the paint, finding open shooters, and those are normally the shots that they've made in this game.
That was almost an identical location from the missed 3 just moments earlier from Hughes. This time he hits it.
It's called 2 for $1. When you play pickup, you get it all the time, right?
How much pickup? Gerard, Boeheim, and Hughes, the 3-headed monster offensively for the Orange.
And yeah, the Orange have gotten production from the guys they need to be productive every night out. And if they can start doing this on a consistent basis, you have a much better Syracuse team moving forward into ACC play.
5 seconds to shoot. Oakland has to hurry. Not where you want it. Kangu has to let it fly, and that is so off the mark.
Wide open layup off of a great tap by Dolezaj. You have to remember Sidibe now coming back and starting the second half with 3 fouls.
Madison Monroe can't connect from 3.
Is because Syracuse has now hit 9 3-pointers, and everyone is for Oakland is concerned about guarding the 3-point line. They forget about defending the rim.
Double team fights through it. Brad Brechting. Boeheim leaves him in the game.
And that's risky. Because I would like to say that Sidibe has played enough minutes and recognizes how important he is to the team to where he wouldn't pick up.
Maddox looking for the answer, comes up empty. Battle for the rebound. Oakland comes up with it.